Hello and welcome back. It's Melissa coming to you with another video. Today I'm going to be telling you or discussing a review of my first month on Outschool. I've been with Outschool just over a month now, and I want to basically tell you what that's been like. First off, I'm going to tell you, and then towards the end I'm going to be revealing my earnings. So it's been absolutely fantastic. I have had a phenomenal time on Outschool. In fact, it has brought my love of teaching back, and it's amazing to be rewarded for my teaching by seeing children's faces light up with the lessons that I've been creating, which is amazing. I teach in a school, as you all know, and I do say this like nearly every single video, but to be teaching on Outschool is different because I really have the creative control to teach exactly what I want, and it doesn't have to be things that are taught in school. In fact, I teach some classes that are not taught in school, classes that are of my own interest, or classes that I have taught outside of a school setting to at university level, for example, discussions at university level that I'm being able to adapt and bring down to children to be able to teach them. So from that point of view, I have had a bounce in my step. Really, I'm beaming, and you can see that I'm beaming. Secondly, I would say that Outschool, it is a lot of work. People are listening to and watching how much money you can make, and some people are making more money than others. But it's a lot of hours that you're having to put in because you are creating that content. So when you see a teacher and they're saying they've earned $150 for that hour, it's probably all of the work that they put into that before that hour even comes to fruition. So just like teaching in a school, we have to do so much prep before we enter that classroom, and with Outschool you have to do a lot of prep before you enter the classroom. All the work is done before you turn on your computer and say hello to your children. If you think with the amount of competition that we have that you can just turn on your computer and just teach on the spot, honestly, you will be found out, it will be seen. And unless you've got years of teaching where you've taught that class thousands of times, you just can't get away with that. You really do have to prepare and create content that will interest your audience, and you do have to research. That often means that I'm working 50-hour weeks. I might have put in, say, 30 hours into one lesson. I created an escape room that took me 30 hours to make from scratch, including building it on the website, building the questions, for example. All of that content takes a lot of time. And then for me, the reward isn't the money. Of course, we need the money, but it really is seeing children's faces light up as they're playing that game that I've created, or doing that lesson that I've created, and being able to see it for the first time on their faces. And sometimes it is the first time that we're seeing that lesson, especially if you've created it for Outschool, but online, and you're testing it with those children, so to speak, and then you're asking them questions. And that's what I'd say as well: ask the questions, ask the children what they thought, how can it be improved, how can the lesson be more interactive. And more often than not, they'll be honest with you and they'll give you information about how you can make that class even better. I would say as well, don't think you have to be all bells and whistles. There's been a lot of talk in the teachers groups about not knowing how to use Nearpod, not knowing how to use all these fancy add-ons and elements. Bear in mind that a lot of children only have basic computers themselves, and when you're teaching 10-year-olds or younger, their computer knowledge is probably very limited. So you probably spend a lot of your time trying to teach them how to actually work a particular function that you've added. So don't feel that you have to be all bells and whistles in order to engage your audience. Always bring it back to the objectives. That's what I do. Tell your children what they're going to learn, and when you're planning, write down exactly what you want to get out of that lesson, what you want the children to get out of that lesson, and stick to those objectives. Anything else is just absolute fuss that you're adding on top. When I first found out about Outschool, it was from Nancy Taylor. I saw one of her videos. I've watched a lot of her videos to do with VIP kids, even though we don't have it here in England. And I'd never had any intention of teaching online. It was just something that I would just sit down, say on a Saturday or Friday, trying to look for, more inspiration. And I loved watching, say, American teachers and seeing how they were teacherpreneurs. And I found it all very fascinating. I never thought for one second that here in England we'd have that same opportunity. So that's how I found out about Outschool. And I must admit, I was dubious. When she mentioned Outschool and said, yeah, well, they're going to take 30%. I was like, what? So they're going to take 30%. So I have to sit there planning. I have to contact the parents. I have to do all of this legwork, and they take 30% of what I've earned. I was like, forget that, I'm not applying. And then in that same sentence, she said, but bear in mind, you're teaching to groups. And then it clicked. I was like, oh. So you're not just teaching to the one child and they're taking 30%. You could be teaching to 10 children, depending on your class, or 12, or higher if you want to. And then they're taking 30% on top of that. And I just thought, well, I've seen how successful VIP Kid has been in the States. Melissa, you could be missing out on an opportunity. And so I applied straight away. Literally the next day I applied. I was being one of the first British teachers to apply, and I do have a UK group, so please do join it. It's on Facebook, so it's called Outschool UK group for those that are from the UK. So join it if you're a teacher, join it if you're a parent. I welcome you because we're trying to build that up. And so I applied, and I'm so glad that I did, because Outschool do a lot of the advertising. That's where the 30% go. A lot of the children that I'm teaching I would never come across them teaching children from all over the world, America, Hong Kong, you name it, lots of different countries, India, Pakistan. I would never have had that opportunity of meeting such a worldwide audience. And then finally, what I would say as well, one of the final things I'll say before I start revealing about pay, is that Outschool have been fantastic. They really are trying. They have groups so that you've got small groups, there's training groups online. If you have any issues, so I've had issues before, you just contact them. Technical issues, say issues with star ratings, for example, if you need something removed, which I had to have something removed from a parent who was frustrated with Outschool or the functionality, and happened to take it out on me by writing a really bad review. Bear in mind, I hadn't taught her child, I hadn't taught her. She literally came on for all of a minute to shout about how she was having technical problems and couldn't get her child into the classroom with previous classes. She then left me a 1-star review. Bear in mind, reviews really do matter. So it brought my rating down drastically. And when I say they matter, I mean I've been given some good 5-star reviews. And when teachers have left paragraphs, I remember one particular parent, she left a paragraph, about 6 or 7 lines about one of my classes. That same evening, I had 6 parents that signed their children up to my multi-day course. And literally since then, my multi-day course for one of my classes has been, every time I list it, has been fully booked and full. So that's how important ratings are. Outschool removed the comment immediately, and actually a few days ago, the parent actually wrote back to me and apologised. She said that she didn't realise it had such an impact on teachers, and she even offered to give me back the money for the class. And I'm going to reply back to her, because to do that is such a big thing, to speak out and apologise, and she doesn't have to give me the money back for that class at all, because I've had the rating removed. Bear in mind that sometimes parents are angry or frustrated about something that is out of our control as teachers. So I would say that Outschool handled that situation extremely well for me. So down to the pay. pay can be different for a lot of teachers, and it's really dependent on many different factors. So how many courses are you offering? When are you offering them? How much are you charging per child? It's so many different things. But for me, I've been working 15 hours a week, and I've been earning over $1,000 for 15 hours. So over $1,000, which is amazing, and it's way more than I've been earning in my teaching job. Even if I've been converting it to UK money, it's still been a lot of money that I've been earning, and I'm extremely thankful for this opportunity. So if you do have any questions, or if you do like this type of video, please give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to my Facebook group as well. And if you, as I say, any questions at all, or if you want me to be your mentor, not that I've mentored anyone at the moment, I've just got buddies. But if you do want that mentorship, by all means use my link to join Outschool, and I will coach you along, because I am a teacher. I understand how to make the curriculum and everything like that in the background, and all of that really does help with how you present yourself online. Thank you for watching.